say living life is free, I'll have to deny, 'cause every day I pay the price.
That took guts. We need guts. I'm promoting you. That's a quote from one of my favorite movies, which is Ted. Saw that movie as a kid, and man, was that a funny one. No, but in reality, I really did like it. I thought it was just a good story, and that line always stuck with me. It comes from when Ted does some certain activities not approved on his job, and he tells the manager what he did, and then he tells him, I think, something else that he did, and the manager's like, that took guts. We need guts. I'm promoting you. And that's kind of how I feel after you do the exercise not exercise, but something that I'm going to be sharing with you today if you choose to partake in it. So, welcome to the complicated but kind of simple podcast. I'm here today with another episode. I'm really excited. But before we start it, I actually want to hold off and talk about something that did happen to me today. It was actually right before I was going to make the podcast. I was cleaning my room up. I go and then decide to make myself some coffee because I'm about to go work out after I record this, right? So I have a mug, and the mug, I usually put like boiling hot water in it to clean it out, every once in a while. Sometimes I just do a quick clean if it only had like water in it before or something, because I'm not washing it every single time in college, sorry. But look, sometimes I don't know, I'll do the smell test. If it smells bad, yeah. But if I just like hit it with the hot water and then smell it and it smells like nothing, okay, it's good to go. Or if I'm giving it to a friend, if a friend's drinking out of it, yeah, I'm gonna have to wash that fully. But that's not the point. The point is, I put the hot water in, I put the lid on completely, and then I close the lid completely from the top, and I start shaking it. Now, I always knew there was a little pressure that builds up when you shake hot water in a container, because the top usually pops off, just not the whole lid, but just the actual opening to drink from. So I'm shaking it and I'm holding it down, and then out of nowhere, poof, the whole top of the freaking cup just flies off. I'm like, okay, well then. And then water gets on my monitor, all over my keyboard, all on the wall, almost got on my computer, totally over my desk, totally over, it just splattered everywhere. I was like, really? Boiling hot water. And just a PSA, if you clean your things with hot water, make sure that you hold that lid on, because that thing will explode off. And yeah, it kind of sucks because I burnt myself with hot water, and it's fine, I'm not complaining, but just something to keep in mind. Anyways, let's get started into the actual point of today's episode, and it's about sinning. We all got sins, and I'm not talking about the sins that you think are traditional manner or religious. No, this is something different. So I'm talking about how you do things and you don't like them. So what I mean by these sins are specific acts or actions you don't take that you know and feel that you should be doing, and you don't do them because procrastination or there's something else. Now, if you're like genuinely unable to do a certain thing, that's not what this is. And these are going to be more like lying for the reason to lie. Your parents ask you, oh, where are you? And you're at the store and you say, oh, I'm at the library. Why you gotta say you at the library? Just tell them you're at the store. It's not a big deal. Or it could be, too much of TV. You're just on YouTube, on TV, just too much of procrastinating, wasting time. And it's gotten to the point where it's no longer relaxation, but it actually is wasting time. Yeah, that would count. So I think it doesn't have to take long, but if you want it to do it for it to be memorable and change you, I would recommend it to spend more time and truly just reflect on things that you do. And it may be keeping your room really nasty and you want it to be clean. It may be not contacting people, just whatever it is. Write it down, because I don't think it does it justice if you just I'm keeping tally in my head. No, make a list, write it down. What do you do wrong? Like how many times you sinning, bro? What are you doing that you shouldn't be, and what are you not doing that you should be? And then this isn't to rank. So what you're not gonna do, or I personally don't recommend you doing, is ranking yourself or judging yourself at any point during this. It's more about just seeing what you do and then totally internalizing, like, okay, I do these things. How many of these things can I change? How many of these things do I not want to change? Whatever it is, if you want to go down that road, it's fine. But the bigger message here is going to be whatever you pick, just to change or not to change, just make sure you know that. Just make sure you know, next time, you don't brush your teeth and someone looks at you and they're talking to you and you got that stank mouth, even through your mask. Like, they're talking to you and you got your mask on and that smell is like still creeping through. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. You know now. You now know you got stank breath and you know why. And you're okay being that person? Okay. But you gotta know that you accept that and you truly recognize that and you have it written down. So any sin, quote unquote, that you're doing, just make sure you know. So if you want to go change it, you can have written down steps also from here on how to change it, on what to do. And some may be simple and some are not. Like I said, this isn't to judge. This isn't even to rank. It's got nothing to do with that. It's more about, if you're not happy, I think this is the first step. Because if you feel something is wrong when you do it or when you don't do it, or you feel like you haven't accomplished enough, you should probably do things so you'll feel better. Not just pleasurable, but happiness. I think it was in PragerU where pleasure is doing something and in the action you are happy or feel good, and then happiness is doing something and possibly while doing it, but more so after you do that thing, you get more happiness and satisfaction. It's much more fulfillment than it is just a temporary thing, And I'm not saying I don't got sins. I got plenty. All I'm saying is, and not the sins that I just thought about how that could come off halfway through saying that. I was like, oh God, no, I mean the sins I'm talking about now, that actually got to me. That's funny. Actual these basic things that you think that are wrong for yourself. Those, I'm not saying I don't do things that personally I'm like, man, I wish I would change that habit, or man, I wish I would change that thing. That's fine. If you, like I said, if you want to change, you don't want to change, just know it. Just actually recognize what you're doing, so you're not surprised on what path it's leading you down. You're not surprised on how you feel during the day. You know what I'm saying? And it is mainly for accountability. You know, you want to make sure that, I think it's, at least me personally, I think it's weird how people just do things and then not really understand what they're doing or understand what that leads to. And I do that all the time too, you know, with small things. I'm watching YouTube. I don't really understand how much, not even time while I'm watching the video taken away, but time after, then now that I'm thinking about that video and wanting to watch more, how it's affecting me after, you know. Like I said, I'm going to repeat it again because it's important. This isn't a judging contest. This is not to think about how, others maybe do this or that and I don't. Like, no. This is about you. This is the personal, and truly, I think there's some sins that you're not going to want to stop doing, you know? An easy one that I see a lot of people with is like smoking or vaping, you know? That's cool. Do it. If you want to partake. But don't act like you don't know now that you've reflected 20 years down the line, like, oh, well, like, I'm so surprised I got lung cancer. Like, no, like, you did it to yourself. Or not even, it doesn't even have to be lung cancer. If you can't even work out the same, if you can't think the same, if your, like, actual dopamine receptors are now affected, that's on you. But it's more important to know the whole time, every single time you do it, like, man, like, this is affecting me, and it's negative. And the point of this exercise is, some things that you do, some sins are easy to identify, but some are not. Some are things that are just a habit that you roll through your days not even noticing. And also, it makes it hit much more. It makes it, you feel it a lot more when you write it down or you reflect on it, like, in front of you, than when it's every single time you do it, you're like, oh yeah, like, I know this is bad, but whatever. No, when you write it down, boom, accountability. And it's important. And I think it's not just to change your life. It's more about awareness. It's good to know where you are. And if you know where you are, then I think it's going to help you be not just pleasure, but happier. After you do this, you're going to feel better. How am I going to feel better? I'm reflecting on my negatives. Everyone has negatives. That's the point. But the fact that you reflected is the first step. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you guys like it. Hope you maybe learned something. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. I just got past 10 videos. This is my 11th. I'm so psyched. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate every moment of your time. And yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace.